Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the daily vlog. Today is Wednesday, August 14th, day 63, I think it is. Crazy. I feel like it's become such a part of our routine. Off to a slow start this morning. I have to work per usual. Tyler is running some errands for me that I hate doing. So I need an oil change in my car. My car needs to go through the car wash. I actually enjoy that part, but a lot of the stuff like I hate doing. Perks of having a stay-at-home husband is he gets to do that stuff today. Handing you off to him, it's just about 9 o'clock, so I have to get my workday started. Please be nice to him.
I am gonna take the shower. You will not be joining me for that. And I have a video segment. Well, you'll see about my books to film today. So Sean's oil is changed. I know you don't have to do anything at those places. You don't even have to get out of the car. You're just sitting there. But I always I just don't love it there. It's not my cup of tea. And then I'm always afraid they're gonna ask me questions about my car that I don't know. Not so much anymore because he was just do you want the same oil as last time or whatever? And then he took my sticker off. But I remember when I was in college and I would go to get my oil changed, I would always have my dad on the phone while I was when I first got there. But now I'm taking Sean's car through the car wash, or I'm headed to the car wash rather. And then I'm headed to Costco and Target. There's this intersection over where Sean and I used to live, close to where his mom lives now. And it's just a free-for-all, and Sean's brother got in a wreck there once, and wrecks commonly happen there, and I don't know why they haven't done something to fix that. It's I can't explain it, you would have to see it, but it's just asking for a wreck. The people at the car wash were rude, and me and Sean had been, this is the car wash that Sean goes to all the time, but they were also rude last time Sean went, so I'm I think I'm done with that car wash. I think we'll find another car wash to go to, because they just... Here's my thing. And I've worked in customer service. I've worked at Kroger. I've worked at JCPenney. I have worked on call center type deal. And I get it. Sometimes your job sucks. And I saw a video of Chapel Roan talking about this, just regular jobs, they kind of suck. But that's not the person you're talking to's fault. And so I don't feel you should take, unless the customer is being an ass, I don't think there's any reason to take your bad day out on them. So, but whoever that guy was at the car wash, he was taking his bad day out on me. So I am grabbing this because I have been wanting it, and it is on clearance for $10. Target has a lot of their vinyl on clearance right now. Okay, so I got Dexter's stuff, and I got the Shania Twain vinyl, which I was pretty excited about because I did want that vinyl, and I remember talking to Sean and being before it was pressed, and being oh, I wish there was a greatest hits of Shania compilation, because I grew up on Shania Twain. I listened to her with my mama a lot, and but I'm not a huge, there's songs I like on a lot of her albums, but I do mostly the hits from the albums. And so I was man, I wish there was a compilation of the hits from the albums. Well, there is now, but when Target first put it out, it was I think $40 or $50, and so I didn't get it. And then when I went in today, it said $10.99, and I was oh. So I got it, and I will be spending it today. Another side note, and I'm almost embarrassed to say this, but I'm not at the same time because the song is good. I really like Addison Rae's new song. Speaking my truth, I have been playing it, and it's really good. And I know she's not a vocalist, and I know she's a prime example of influencer making music, but if you look at her tweets and even old tweets before she was famous and stuff, she's a big music fan, like a big pop music fan too, and I think it really shows. Like, I think she has the ear for it, and she knows like what sounds good and what people want to hear. And so yeah, Diet Pepsi by Addison Rae, bop. So I also, in fact, did get the Sabrina Carpenter shirt at Target. And to be fair, Sean cannot be angry. He wouldn't be angry, but he can't. I told Sean if I saw it at Target, I was liable to get it. And I did, so. I went to Costco. I didn't get any clips in there because literally all I did was like grab chicken nuggets, and then they didn't have my turkey burgers. So I did not get that. And that's the thing about Costco is, you know, they'll have a product that's like really good or whatever, and then it's hit or miss and they don't have it anymore. And I hope that does not happen to the chicken nuggets. Trader Joe's is like an actual hellscape. It is like always so crowded in there. Finally headed home. It is hot. Ugh. I am going to open and unbox this vinyl I just got at Target. So for $10, this is a pretty good deal. It's a 2 LP with a gatefold. Looks like the gatefold just has a stand, like an image, and then the credits. So it's a 2 LP. Oh, this is pretty cool. It comes with photos from the music videos and then the lyrics next to them. And the pressing is this really pretty baby pink. Oh, and the centerfold has the album cover too. Yeah, this is very cute packaging. But I'm going to sleeve it as I do. So this is a part of the vlog that I have been pretty excited to do lately. I've mentioned it a couple times on the vlog. I am a big reader. I love to read. And so recently, during the summer, and actually I decided to do this when me and Sean were on vacation at the beach, but I decided that I was going to read all of Emily Henry's books. And I have them all here, and I did do that. I'm going to rank them from my least favorite to my favorite and talk a little bit about the book and give my reasons why and all of that. So I didn't hate this one. I think I gave it like a 3 out of 5. I didn't think it was terrible, but it, as far as like Emily Henry's books went and on the list, it was definitely my least favorite. And this one was People We Meet on Vacation. This book follows Poppy and Alex. They are 2 friends from college, and they go on like a vacation together every year. But they're not a couple, and it gets kind of sticky because they are, you know, each with different people, and they're going on a 1-week trip together every year, and like their significant others are not okay with that. And so the book, they kind of go their separate ways for a little while, and the book is kind of showing them coming back together. And I just thought that, one, I really didn't care that much for the characters. Like, I didn't really develop like much of an interest in their relationship, and also like I also felt like it was kind of unrealistic, like, and maybe I'm wrong for that, but like I feel like if Sean was coming to me and was like, oh, like I'm going on this week trip with this guy every year, I would be like, like I would feel kind of weird about it. I don't know. What do y'all think about that? Like I said, I didn't think it was terrible. I don't want to spoil anything. I just really didn't feel much of a connection towards the characters, and I felt like, I wouldn't say like don't read it, but like don't have high expectations. What I'm putting at number 4 is Happy Place. And I will say I did enjoy this one. I enjoyed this one much more than People We Meet on Vacation. Happy Place follows 2 characters, Harriet and Wynn, and they are also a couple in college, and they broke up. So like they're in a friend group and all of their friends have went their separate ways, but they come back together also for a trip. I'm just kind of realizing like how a little bit similar this sounds, but so they come back together for a trip, but they have broken up, but they do not tell their friends that they have broken up. And so they pretend to still be together on this trip. And I will say like some of the plot points I did feel like were a little predictable, but it was like an easy, fun read. And I did find myself way more drawn to these characters than People We Meet on Vacation. And I don't know the order in which Emily Henry wrote these books. Like I don't know which one was her first novel, but I would like to see which one it was. Yeah, this one was very like summery. I think it would be like a really good, no pun intended, because there is a book in this stack called Beach Read, but I feel like it would be a really good beach read. I think I gave this one a 4 out of 5. I did really enjoy it. To the third book, this was actually the first Emily Henry book I read, and it is Book Lovers. I think me and Sean were in Target and they were having a book sale, and so I grabbed this one. I hadn't read anything by her yet, and this one is about a girl named Nora, and she works for a publishing company, like for books, and she goes on a sister's trip to North Carolina with her sister, and she bumps into Charlie, who is an editor that she knows, like a competing editor back in the city. And so it's kind of like an enemies to lovers type deal. I did really enjoy this one. I did think that there was a lot of chemistry between the characters, and I really wanted to like see how things played out with them. So I would say that this one is like definitely a good read. I did think that the pacing of the book was really well. It was kind of like a slow burn romance, but it built up the anticipation for the relationship of the characters. And it was also like a small town concept. It's these people coming from the big city to like visit the small town and that kind of thing. And yeah, I thought it was really enjoyable. The next 2 are 2 that I finished very recently. And now, honestly, I will say with Book Lovers and Beach Read, I think it could, like my number 2 and 3, I feel like it could be interchangeable. I quite enjoyed them both a lot. But I most recently finished Beach Read. And I really, really enjoyed it. So Beach Read is about 2 characters, Augustus, and he is an author of literary fiction, and then January, who is a rom-com writer. And they are 2 very opposite people, and they went to college together. They knew each other in college, but they weren't really even like friends. They were more acquaintance, and it again is kind of like a enemies to lovers setup. And so she moves to a new house, and it turns out that he is her next door neighbor, and they are both having like a bit of trouble with writer's block. So they strike a deal with each other that he is going to write like a romance book and she is going to write like the literary fiction style-esque. And so they take each other on different like research trips and stuff every weekend, and then they live next to each other, so they'll like talk to each other about their writing, and just like not to get, I don't want to like spoil anything that is like not in the synopsis, but I was very intrigued. This one was actually, I want to say, I didn't put it as my top one because, and I'll get to that, and since I'm at number 2, you already know what the top one is. But I will say this is the one I think that like held me where I wanted to finish the book quickly. Like I was very intrigued and interested by their story and their dynamic, and I wanted to see like how everything played out with them. And this one also had what I think a couple of the other Emily Henry books didn't, which is that there were some like secrets and plot twists lying underneath that came out that I didn't necessarily expect. I definitely think this would be like a good beachy summer read. And number 1 was another one that I finished just before beach read. I read these 2 back to back, and it is her latest book, and it is Funny Story. And I really, really enjoyed this one. I thought it was great. So this one actually follows Daphne and Miles. And so I thought the concept of the book was kind of funny. And it is. Like, this book kind of was a bit comedic. So Daphne is with her fiance Peter, and they split up. He has a best friend named Petra, who he is like old childhood friends with, and she's kind of like the girl, you know, he tells you not to worry about. And so they end up, he ends up leaving her and for the childhood friend Petra. And so Daphne's like in a bind because she needs somewhere to live and stay, and she's restricted on her financial situation now that her and Peter are not together. And so she actually moves in with Miles, who is the ex of her ex-fiance's new fiance. So this Petra just left her also boyfriend Miles for Daphne's fiance Peter. And so Daphne and Miles are living together while going through a heartbreak. And you know, it's a unique situation that both of them understand because their exes are now together. And it was an interesting concept to see, and it was just interesting to watch it play out throughout the book, like their relationship. And I just have to say, I 100% like fell in love with the characters when I was reading this. I was like rooting for them hardcore, and it was another kind of situation like I mentioned with Book Lovers, where it was kind of like a slow burn, and you kind of got to watch this relationship develop and watch Daphne and Miles develop these crushes with and on each other, and like kind of going back and forth on like, should we do this because of everything that's going on. And like I said, I don't really like want to spoil anything on that. And so they actually begin to fake date to their exes. And so like the synopsis right here says, if said plan involves posting deliberately misleading photos of their summer adventures together, well, who could blame them? But it's all just for show, of course, because there's no way Daphne would actually start her new chapter by falling in love with her ex-fiance's new fiance's ex. Right. I really enjoyed that one. I thought the character development, I thought the plot buildup was really, really good. And I also gave that one a 4 out of 5. So really, the only book of Emily Henry's that I would say that I really didn't enjoy that much was People We Meet on Vacation. Okay, so Beach Read actually came before People We Meet on Vacation. And I do think that Beach Read was one of her best ones. I guess maybe like, you know, people say like sophomore slump when they're talking about like albums with music. It's like maybe People We Meet on Vacation was her like sophomore slump, because I'm sorry, but I just wasn't feeling it. But the rest of them I gave 4 out of 5. I all thought were really good and I really enjoyed. I would definitely recommend them for like easy summer reads. People call her like the rom-com queen, the beach read queen, and I think that's very much true. I think her books are very vacation vibes, like you want to read it during the summer, like on the beach. So I was telling Sean the other day because I mostly read like realistic fiction, romance, and thriller / horror type deals. I think the thing with reading romance books, no matter who the author, really, no matter the book, is they're not like suspenseful. So I can kind of just like read them at a slower pace, pick them up, put them down. I'm not really like dying to finish it. Whereas with like when I'm reading a thriller or a horror type book, I love a page turner. Like I love like not being able to put the book down and like, oh my gosh, I need to know what happens next. And I talked a little bit about the book that I'm currently reading, 13 by Steve Kavanaugh. And it is kind of like that in the sense that like, I don't want to put it down because each chapter almost ends with like some sort of twist, and I want to figure out what's happening in the book. And so I tend to read thrillers much faster than I read these like romance type books. And I'm enjoying 13, so I definitely want to check out more of Steve Kavanaugh's books. If any of you all happen to have read those, feel free to give me some recommendations. If you're watching this and you watch a lot of our vlogs and you like book content, let me know. If you feel like it should be a separate entity or thing, also let me know. But I do really enjoy reading, and I just kind of like wanted to throw this in here on some of my thoughts and things that I felt about the book. It is the first time that I have done that, like sat down and recorded it. So, you know, I definitely think there's probably room for me to improve, or like things that I may have left out or not spoke on with the book. I also didn't want to spoil a book for anybody. I like watching book reviews, and either like while I'm reading the book or before I read the book. But I like spoiler-free reviews because I kind of like to see how other people felt about the book, like if they liked it or not, or if they would recommend it, not more so like ruining the book. And I think a lot of times when those reviews, it'll say like spoiler or spoiler free. But these reviews are spoiler free. I don't mention anything that's gonna ruin the book. But I enjoy it. Like I love to read, and I would love to like engage with people and talk about it and get book recommendations and stuff. So I think it could be fun. So as I was saying, just bear with me as I'm trying to figure out the best way to like format this type of content, and as I'm like just dipping my feet in it. This was my first go at it, so I know it might have been a little rough, but I want to continue trying and you know, talking about it, because I love watching other people's book tubes and all that. So I want to give it a shot. It doesn't hurt, and I just want to talk about the books I read. And if you like to read too, then, you know, follow along, join me.
Go ahead. Back. Today, I haven't spoken to you guys since this morning. It's now 8:23 p.m. It was a crazy work day. We're in the vlog like we always do with our daily game of 365, our game for couples. But just an update. If you've watched the vlogs for a few weeks now, remember a few weeks ago, Hillary started limping on her, she started favoring her leg. It's mostly better, but it's still not quite healed. So we made an appointment with our vet for tomorrow to get it looked at, probably x-rayed, and hopefully it's nothing serious. She is older, so every time we go to a vet for something, there is like the C word like kind of looms in my head, but you know, we'll see what we're up against. Hopefully it's just like she sprained it. It's just taking a long time to heal. That's best case scenario here, but it's been a few weeks, and she seems to be getting around fine, but like obviously dogs can't talk to you, and she does still have like a noticeable slight limp. Like people were pointing it out when we were back home. And our vet's usually pretty booked, so glad they always squeeze in. So we're doing that tomorrow afternoon. Anyway, our game is a different question for couples. The questions get better. They've gotten better every day. Today we're on day 12. There's 365 days in here. We do one at the end of every vlog. Tyler will scratch it off. I think it's my turn to go first today.
Okay.
That sound is like grating to me. What is something I do that always turns you on? We're going to answer this, but we're not going to answer it on camera. because it's a game we're playing together still. But we said at the beginning,
There might be some questions.
there might be some that we just don't share, and I think that side of our life
is one we're not
is
gonna
one
talk about.
we're not
You
gonna
too.
share. Yeah, because members of our family follow us, so we will answer this privately. So with that, hope you guys have a good evening
And a good night.
and a good night. And we will see you tomorrow. I'm sorry I wasn't around much today, but maybe some of you guys prefer that. Who knows? I don't like some people in my family prefer it that way, but I'll see you tomorrow.
No.
Bye, guys.